Right, 30 November 2024, and today is the last day of November, and that means tomorrow we're going to be entering the last day or the last month of the year. Very interesting, 12 months that we've gone through, and Zimbabwe started off at a very high pace, and we're ending this year at an even higher pace. So in terms of politics, when we started the year, we're busy talking about SADC and all those things to do with election reruns. But as we go to the end of this year, we're coming to the end of the Mnangagwa era. You can clearly see that Mnangagwa is losing power, and he's no longer the Mnangagwa that we used to know. Mnangagwa has got no direction right now. We don't know what is going to happen to him, because everything that Mnangagwa has started is not finished, and the actual government of Mnangagwa is no longer functional. You can see the dysfunction, especially to do with power, to do with the sick, to do with even food, the food situation within the country. People are going hungry around Zimbabwe. But today, let's look at the events of the day before I go into my headlines. So today, there's a number of by-elections, and that is Bindura. We've got an election in Bindura. So let's look at the actual banner here. So we've got Bindura and Makoni by-elections, which are taking place today. As you know, the election in Victoria Falls is not going to take place because of the court case. So ZANU-PF took Councillor Mambume to court, and they got him disqualified. So Councillor Mambume was the candidate for Chamisa, and they got him disqualified. So now we only have these two by-elections, and let's see what is going to happen here. I do not think this election is going to make any sense. These are not important elections, but it's always important to the people in that community to have someone who is good, someone who is focused on the delivery within the area. So quite a sad situation in Victoria Falls, but we'll be watching closely what happens at Bindura and Makoni. And then obviously another big thing that has happened here is that South Africa has extended, they've extended the Zimbabwe exemption permit. So Zimbabweans will be able to work in South Africa on ZEP until November 2025. And the reason is simple. South Africa does not have sufficient qualified people in many areas of their economy, especially within the IT sector, within the engineering sector. They depend a lot on Zimbabweans. So many companies have lobbied the Minister of Home Affairs or the Minister of Home Affairs here, and they've had the lobby. There's no way that South Africa was going to survive without Zimbabweans, and this has resulted in this extension of the Zimbabwe exemption permit. I think these guys should just give permanent residence to Zimbabweans on ZEP. It's not making any sense what they're doing. You take people to court and you don't want to extend, then you extend. So it doesn't make sense at all. And I hope that they finally see sense and give the Zimbabwean exemption people permanent residence so that they don't have to keep on extending this thing. And then in terms of other news, that is breaking for today. There is obviously very interesting story here. Bulletproof Zimbabwean traditional healer, Dr. Kekelezi, has announced that he's going to be coming to Zimbabwe. So that's crazy. I don't know what Dr. Kekelezi is going to be doing, but I understand that he has formed a church in Pumula, that is in Bulawayo. There is a new church by Dr. Kekelezi, who is a traditional healer, who says that a bullet cannot penetrate his body. He's Zimbabwean, and he's going to be coming to Zimbabwe on December 21. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, if you like traditional healers, you can go over and check him out in Bulawayo. They'll be doing what is called spinning at ZKS Arena in Bulawayo. So you can go check it out. And it's going to be hosted by Zakele Mabaso. You can go check that out in Bulawayo. Now, let's look at the headline for today. So today I did something different. I started with other stories. We want to look at what's happening to Mnangagwa. And I said to you that within the next 3 to 4 weeks, so by the 27th of December, something big would have happened to Mnangagwa. And the reason is, within ZANU-PF, there is a big factional fight after Mnangagwa failed to go through with the ED 2030. The ED 2030 is dead. And I've told many people that ED 2030 is not going to happen. There's not going to be Mnangagwa after 2028. However, what has happened this week has become a security issue for Mnangagwa. When Mnangagwa was in parliament, power was switched off or power was turned off. So these are two different things. Someone can go and trip a switch, or power can be turned off by some natural event. However, investigations on what happened when Mthuli Ncube was presenting his budget have been inconclusive. No one knows why power went off at parliament. And CESA has refused to say what happened. However, the Parliament of Zimbabwe has issued an apology to Mnangagwa. And during their apology, they've said that, so let me read it for you. Parliament apologized to Mnangagwa, saying information at hand indicates that thunderstorms and high winds affected overhead lines, resulting in tripping of a 132 kilowatt feeder that supplies power to a substation, which feeds power to Mt Hampden. So they're saying that this power cut happened during the time when Mnangagwa was in parliament because of something that happened way off away from Parliament building. And then they said after engaging on-site personnel and ZESA, Parliament established that this resulted in the loss of power supplies to the Parliament buildings and surrounding areas at 15:25 hours. So this happened at the very moment when Mnangagwa was inside Parliament. But this is not all. Parliament said the standby generator at the building was equally affected by the power surge, resulting in the generator losing its memory settings. Guys, this is lies. So what I can tell you is that this was an orchestrated event. And as I said yesterday, there are two parties that can be involved here. So the first party, obviously, could be the Chinese. The Chinese could be affected, working behind the scenes here to just give Mnangagwa a warning over the debt that is owing. They just want Mnangagwa to be aware that is not going to get away with it. But I think there's even a bigger and sinister thing here, which is open sabotage of Mnangagwa. Something that I told you that is going to be happening more and more. Mnangagwa is very unpopular within ZANU-PF and even less popular within the military. So if you see power going off during the time when the president is inside, it means testing was not done, which is very unlikely. Most of the time when a president is going to be in a place, there is testing and retesting of certain things like power, moving out, security procedures and all that, and checking who is standing where. So the coming off of power during the time when Mnangagwa was in parliament and when the spotlight was on Mnangagwa is not coincidental. This thing was orchestrated. And I believe that John Doe is back. So you remember John Doe, that was the situation when Mnangagwa went to Victoria Falls and his plane was forced to turn back in March. So that same kind of scenario is replaying itself to embarrass Mnangagwa. So I told you during the time that the person who did this, who did the John Doe incident, is someone very strategic. He knows when to strike, and when he strikes, he gives the maximum embarrassment to Mnangagwa. So I want to show you what happened so that you can see how embarrassing this was for Mnangagwa. Right, so you can clearly see that firstly, Mnangagwa was very confused. He didn't know what was going on. And there was no one around Mnangagwa. So check out the left and right. So Mnangagwa is looking to his left, he's looking to his right, and no one is coming to explain to him what is happening. Eventually, they managed to walk out of Parliament. Right, so this was the maximum embarrassment for Mnangagwa. And to me, this is a clear John Doe incident. The message has been sent to Mnangagwa that firstly, is vulnerable. In this dark, anything can happen. His security was not quickly on his side. If I was another person or another president, my security would be very quickly around me. When this happened, there was no movement around Mnangagwa. You can see that most of the guys, they were just relaxed somewhere in the back there. And then Mnangagwa just had to walk out. Very embarrassing incident. And I think it had the maximum effect on Mnangagwa. We're going to be seeing many more of these incidents. Remember the incident where Mnangagwa was given a tractor that doesn't have any petrol or diesel in it. This is also one of the incidents where Mnangagwa is ending the year very, very embarrassed. And clearly things not moving. The message sent that power is a problem. But I believe that to me, it's more like someone is behind the scenes pulling the strings, trying to show Mnangagwa that is not as powerful as he thinks. Now, let me go quickly to some entertainment stories. And let's start with sport. So in sport, there is bucket seats that have been delivered at the National Sports Stadium. These were bought by Tagwire and his company Sakunda because the Zimbabwe National Sports Stadium has been condemned and international matches cannot be played here. So the bucket seats arrived, but I don't think this is going to allow the stadium to be used. There is currently no stadium in the whole of Zimbabwe that can host international matches. And it's not just the bucket seats. So the biggest problem in the National Sports Stadium is that the actual concrete itself, the actual superstructure is collapsing. There are no guardrails. So if someone is sitting here, they could easily fall down. So those guardrails are not up to standard. There are no turnstiles. So if people stampede, they can stampede each other at the gates. They can stampede each other inside the stadium. And it's not possible to account for who is in the stadium because of the way that the gates have been vandalized and there's no access control. So that is why you cannot use the National Sports Stadium for any international matches. And I don't think these bucket seats are going to do it. So it's going to take a long time for Zimbabwe to be able to, or the Zimbabwe national soccer team to be able to host matches at the National Sports Stadium. Very sad situation here. And I hope that something happens. The best way would be to totally demolish the National Sports Stadium and build a new stadium there. But I don't think they have the money to do it. That would be the solution to this problem at the National Sports Stadium. Then in a final entertainment story, we've got this situation at Bulawayo, where the married woman disappeared on her wedding night. So her husband, Mongeni Moyo, has been fined $300 after his new wife left home on her wedding night and went to her ex-boyfriend Officer Kwatiringa, a married ex-boyfriend, with whom she spent a night and then came back home drunk. So this story is in the B Metro newspaper. You can go check it out. So the husband has been fined $300 for beating up the boyfriend, Officer Kwatiringa, who complained that he was beaten by him and the family of the wife. So this is a trending story, and I do not know why he is still married to his new wife after what she's done. So it's very interesting. If you go and look at the P Metro, you can see a lot of interesting stories from Bulawayo over there. Right, let's go to Mkoma Hebe. Said the writings on the wall. The RGM read the wrong speech before his eventual downfall. I think Mnangagwa's fall is going to be very fast. I'm expecting that before the end of this year, something big is going to happen. We're going to have a GNU or some sort of transitional government within 2025. So this is my prediction that 2025 is going to be a year of a transitional government. So something big is going to happen, because what is happening now cannot be sustained up to 2028. So something has to happen. And I do not know how it's going to happen, but you're going to see something happening within the next 4 weeks. Okay, what do you expect? And not an elected president. And then Mkoma said, Zimbabwe and the rest of the media outlets, please bring forward solutions to apply rather than continue to analyze what we already know. Make the way forward now and not tell us more of the sorrow. Right? In Nini, I'm always telling you about the solution. So let me tell you what we're doing. The biggest problem in Zimbabwe right now is not the ZIG. We already know that the ZIG is a problem. The biggest problem in Zimbabwe is production. So when I'm talking about production, what am I talking about? I'm talking about a situation where everything in the country is imported, including bucket seats. Bucket seats are little plastics with nothing on them. It's just plastics. You import everything. So your food is imported, your clothes are imported, your technology is imported. The only thing that Zimbabwe is producing is minerals, which are not beneficiated. So you take raw gold and take it out, you take lithium and you take it out. And then you have got your people, a diaspora. So the only two products that Zimbabwe produces is minerals and the diaspora. That's not enough. What you need is a tourism-based economy. That is why I'm always talking about, one, you need to connect the country. So you need people to move very quickly between places. And then secondly, you need to create new communities or planned cities. So you connect the planned cities with high-speed rail, and then you call tourists into the country, and the problem will be solved very quickly. 60 billion, 70 billion is nothing. Tourists have a lot of money. So if tourists come to a good country, they stay for months and they go to different places. In Zimbabwe, a tourist on average stays 1 or 2 days. You want your tourists to stay in Zimbabwe for between 30 and even 60 days, like they do in South Africa. In South Africa, in Cape Town, the tourists come here for the summer. So if there's winter overseas, they come to South Africa so that they can have the summer. So in Zimbabwe, that is not present because, for example, if you go to Victoria Falls, once you go into the falls, there's nothing else to do. You can't say someone must do a helicopter ride every day. So what we normally want is the tourist to land at Victoria Falls. Then they can have somewhere to stay, very nice. Then they go inland, they visit the Great Zimbabwe, they visit Harare, they go to Kariba, then they go to Nyanga. At the moment, the roads are so bad. Between Victoria Falls to Bulawayo, it will take you 8 hours just to travel there. So you can't have a tourism-based economy. So Mkoma Glot, you can see, I'm not one of those people that are just talking. To top it up, we're also busy with homecoming. So people said I must produce a better picture of this house. So I'm busy with this. We are busy with the plan for this house. That is the homecoming house. And so we're busy. We're doing a lot of things. We're not like the rest of the people. And tonight, I'm going to be giving you more information about what we've done to do with the Victoria Falls. There's been a lot of movement on the homecoming. And if you've not registered yourself, your interest in having a house and a land in Victoria Falls, let me know. Obviously, and here's the link so that you guys can go and register over here. So this is why we're not just sitting there like criticizing Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa has done what he knows. So what Mnangagwa is doing now, that is what he knows. The rest is for the young guys to do. And don't expect Mthuli Ncube to do it. Don't expect the guys in government to do it. Eventually, the solution will have to come from people and the young people who are in Zimbabwe. That is yourself and myself, but the solution that is going to be coming in the future. But we still have to have a transitional system in Zimbabwe. So I think we're covered in Nkomaglot. We don't just talk to the problems, we also talk the solution. And then Nkoma Joseph said, high-speed rail is electricity, my brother. It's not electricity only. So there are many technologies. And I always tell people that Tanzania has got more power cuts than Zimbabwe. But they prioritize their rail. Because once you fix rail, you can also have a lot of production and you can solve the power issue. Remember, power just doesn't come from Kariba and from Wange. You can also do solar. So there are a lot of ways that you can do power. You can also do diesel, high-speed rail. It's possible to do high-speed rail with diesel, as long as you've got a lot of tourists. So it's not just electricity. There is a lot that can be done, but Mnangagwa will not be able to do it. Incompetence. Remember the Microsoft for Chwenga? I don't know about Chwenga, his microphone. Chwenga, in his microphone. That was a sabotage because of the ET 2030 guys. Right, I think we've covered everything that I wanted to cover for today. Very important day. We're going to see the election results coming out. Probably, we're also going to see the election results of Namibia coming out either today or tomorrow. And then we're going to see the by-election results coming out today or tomorrow morning. And then obviously in Mozambique, Venancio Mondlane doing very, very well. So Venancio Mondlane is the best opposition leader by far in the whole of Southern Africa. There is no opposition leader who has done what Venancio Mondlane has done, which is to defend the vote without fear. Venancio Mondlane is going to go down in history as the man that changed Mozambique. Because after he was rigged, he did not sit there and accept it. So Venancio Mondlane has fought back. And in Mozambique, the government of Frelimo has been forced, or the fake government of Frelimo has been forced to notice that the people are angry and they want change. So let's see what happens. The answer to this is going to come out at the end of December. So that is when there's going to be an announcement by the Constitutional Court of Mozambique. So we've got a good 4 weeks during which we won't know what is happening in Mozambique. But Venancio Mondlane is every night going on for hours and hours, speaking directly to his followers. So you must go and check out Venancio Mondlane. I don't understand Portuguese, but I just put him on there when I'm working out. And I just watch him talking. I can see, I put subtitles sometimes, I can see what he's saying. He is a very powerful leader, very energetic. And this is the man that Mozambique needs to succeed. Venancio Mondlane is doing very, very well. And Mozambique is going to do well under this man. I know that Daniel Chapo does not have energy. All it does is dance Sungura and Msewe. It is no good for Mozambique. Right, I think we've done everything. Let me now tell you what happened yesterday. So yesterday we did a special on our products. Right, our sponsors over there. So yesterday was the biggest day on Black Friday. So obviously South Africa, it was their last day for getting 200 grams. And we had the largest number of people that bought here. I think yesterday we had over 50 people buying a packet. And that was 650 for 200 grams. In South Africa, they don't pay, they pay the least amount of money because shipping is very cheap here. Shipping is only 90 rand in South Africa. So now let me tell you something about this product. Many people don't understand. So if I give you a product and you don't use it, you're going to complain. So first and foremost, if you get Move, you must use it for 30 days. Then you're going to see good results. And after 30 days, you must do a review. And if you see that your things are not working, you must give me a call so that we can direct you to someone who can assist you. Most times, if you see yourself lacking energy, your muscles not growing, you're diabetic, you have high blood pressure, and you don't have weight loss, that's a sign of illness. You're going to get very sick. So make sure that you take your health very seriously, especially if you're a guy. And the first sign that you're going to see you're not healthy is if you can't go like 5 times a week, and you're less than 70 years old. That is, it means kuti you should be able to easily go 5 times a week with the wife. I don't mean with different girls. I mean with the wife. So Move is not a product for you to, what do you call those products to buy over the shops? It's a product that if you now want to go, you can go, right? Like your engine must be able to start when it needs to start. So it's not a product for you to stimulate or to, it's a product when it's time for action time, you are ready. You don't have my doubts. You don't think you must be ready. That is the job of this thing. It deals with your health. That's why we're giving you 30 days. And that's why I'm saying to you, don't drink a teaspoon of that thing. You must make sure that every morning you put a tablespoon in boiling water and you drink it in half a cup. In the evening, you do the same. Before bed, you drink a tablespoon and you make sure that you put it in boiling water. Don't eat this thing near food. So put a space between food. The reason why I'm telling you all this is because so many people have got issues. And one of the biggest issues is untreated STIs. So every guy who is in South Africa, you must know this. At ZETDC, there is an STI test that you can take. That is Move treats STIs, right? That is where most of the guys' problems are coming from. So if you see your things are not working still, you must go and do that test. And it's a urine test or a blood test that they do for you. And it will tell you if you've got an underlying STI or condition. And you don't have to go to a doctor. You just walk into this game and they'll test you. You also can do a prostate test at this game. And that prostate test is only 300 rand. The last time I did mine was 300 rand. So you must do both tests. If you see your engine is still cranking after 30 days of drinking Move, there's something wrong. And don't be afraid. They won't test you for anything you don't want to be tested for. You'll be fine. I know most of you guys are scared of tests, but it's better to just get tested because the moment you get tested, you'll be fine. But this I'm talking about, that is what affects your performance. So, in a performance problem, which cannot be solved by Moved, then you need to go to the next level, which is to call me and chat with me. I will refer you to the right guys. And most times, it's because of untreated STIs. It's not your fault. Most people are just walking around. In Zambia, 70% of the people in a certain town were tested and they had an untreated STI. So don't do that. That person, especially if you live in South Africa, don't need to be in that situation because that thing can affect your engine. Even if your 1 liter engine turns to 3 liter engine, it doesn't make sense if your big engine can't start. So be careful, guys. And Nina, I'm the guy who helps you a lot because I'm like Sangoma right now. I know to most of you, you've got lots of questions. Your health is very, very important. Mkoma Peter says, if you acquired land in Victoria Falls already, if not, I think you're just jumping the gun. Mkoma Peter, please give me time. We're going to do very, very well between 100,000 and 1 million houses. That is what we're planning to do. In the whole of Zimbabwe, there is no person that can do what I'm trying to do here. First, you need a big following in the diaspora. Secondly, you need to have done some projects before. And there's no person in Zimbabwe who has done those two. So I'm the right person you can trust to do this project. The people in Zimbabwe in government, one, they do not have capacity to do it. Secondly, they do not have the necessary following in the diaspora. In Zimbabwe, in the diaspora, Zimbabwe reaches over 100,000 people a day. And by the way, you're saying, did I acquire land? Just wait, because I can't acquire land and then announce it here on the first day. There are processes that we have to go through. And the land that we want to acquire is not small. 100,000 houses is a lot of houses. 1 million houses is a lot of houses. And I am promising you here that within a short space of time, we are going to give you details. Not just details of the land, but of how to build. So yesterday, I visited a building technology company. So tonight, I'm going to show you this new building technology, which will allow you to build a full house within 6 days. We've gone there yesterday. Today, I'm visiting another building technology company where you can build a house without using bricks. And then we've got a Zimbabwean company, which is also building low-cost housing. And we're dealing with those guys. The first thing that we're going to do, come on, Peter, let me now explain for you. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build a mall. And that mall is going to be easy to build. And then we're going to build houses. So a number of houses. So let's say 20 to 30 houses. So that when our people go to Victoria Falls, they don't face the current situation. So let me explain to you what the current situation in Victoria Falls is. There is a serious shortage of accommodation in Victoria Falls. There's a collapse of the infrastructure in Victoria Falls. So in terms of where to live, let's say you're visiting Victoria Falls. It's not like other tourist destinations where, let's say, we go with your family. You can all sleep in one house, a 3-bedroom house. So if you go to Airbnb right now and say Victoria Falls, the houses that you're going to see there are not up to international standards for a tourist destination. So you eventually have to go to the hotels. Do you know how much a hotel in Victoria Falls costs? Like some of the prices that the hotels are charging in Victoria Falls, that's sabotage. You cannot charge $300, $400 at Victoria Falls. But what we want to do, so let me show you this thing that I'm showing you right now. And I want to be very clear about why Victoria Falls is so important. Right, so this is Victoria Falls that I'm displaying here. Let's see if I'm displaying or I'm just not displaying. So this is Victoria Falls that I'm displaying, right? That's Airbnb. If you look on the screen, you'll see that a room at Victoria Falls is between 2,500 and 4,900. So let's go to the 4,900. There is a cottage with 2 beds here. And I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. It's costing 3,600 a night here. And I'm giving this guy free advert. So this is what you get, 4,600 a night, or 3,600. Let's say in total, 4,000. If you've got a family of 3, you can't sleep here for a month because it's not sufficient. It's not possible for you to sleep for that long. That is why people leave Victoria Falls immediately as they arrive. So what you need to do, firstly, the airport at Victoria Falls is the best airport. In fact, it's better than going to Harare because Harare is a mess. So what you need to do is to build your house. If you're a diaspora Zimbabwean, you need to build your house at Victoria Falls because then you can rent it out on Airbnb. There's cricket coming up in 2027. And also, it's right next to Zambia. So if you build a house like this, eventually it's going to have a lot of value compared to a house in Harare. A house in Harare is just going to become a dump. Also, when you go to Victoria Falls, you actually have things to do. So let's say you go with your family, you actually have things to do. That is why we want to build in Victoria Falls. Also, Victoria Falls is underdeveloped, which means you want to go and develop that area, put 100,000 houses over there, put malls, make it a shopping destination. So that when someone comes from, let's say someone is flying from Kenya, they can actually shop. I think those who have been to Kenya, they know what I'm talking about. The shopping experience in Kenya is not so good outside. I don't know, I've not explored Kenya as much, but Kenya is not known as a shopping destination. You want Zimbabwe to be known as a shopping destination. And why is that? Because you've got Livingstone there, you've got Namibia right next door, you've got Botswana right next door. There is nothing there. So you want to create a big shopping destination and you want more flights to come into Victoria Falls. Those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. And sorry, I need to remove my number here because there's no reason for it. I don't want you to call me. And by the way, guys, I don't want you to buy my stuff. I've got enough support. The guys who are working with us, they're already giving us support. So I'm not marketing. This thing I'm telling you is not a marketing. So I'm not saying buy the stuff that we're doing in Victoria Falls. You mustn't do it. You must stay in a small flat in the United States. You must stay in a little flat in London. And then let's see how it goes in 10 years. But in any what I'm proposing is that come to Victoria Falls, let's do a project there and get out of that little flat where you're living in the United States, get out of the little flat you're living in London. Stop lying to yourself that you're going to have a legacy in those countries. In Canada, it's even worse. Canada is the worst place right now. They've ran out of jobs. They've brought in too many people. So if you are in Canada, if you're in the United States, if you're in UK, you are living on your credit card. What we want you to do is to come home and participate in the economy. So the Victoria Falls will allow you to participate in the gold mining in Matabeleland. You'll be able to participate in the high-speed rail that we're talking about, and you'll be able to have a shop, and you'll be able to see the beautiful scenery around Matabeleland. So this is what I'm talking about. And these ideas are clear. The ideas to me are very clear. Build a house very quickly, very cheaply, get out of those countries where you are. In 10 years' time, in the UK, there will be no Zimbabwean there. Cleaning and sweeping floors and carrying groceries won't take you far. So we want you to have such a house. And I've got an architect working on the actual plan. And to build this house, it should cost you less than $10,000. I am not lying to you. Building this house should cost you less than $10,000, and it should not have any, it shouldn't take weeks. I'll show you the technology this evening that we want to look at. The biggest cost of building in Zimbabwe is builders, thieves, they're stealing from you as they build and land. So we're going to eliminate land, we're going to eliminate builders, and then we're going to make you part of a business. So everything that we do, they always have business around it. So I think I've covered everything. My comment is you won't get that land unless you are politically connected. That's not true. Guys, land is there. Do you know how much land I have in my village? Do you know how much land you have in your village? You've got too much land. The problem in Zimbabwe is never about land. The problem in Zimbabwe is people who sell stands. If you see someone selling a residential stand, that person is evil. Chiangwa, but don't take them a stand. And then they don't develop them. They don't put infrastructure around those stands. We want to do a different thing in Victoria Falls, which is to put infrastructure and to make it possible for people to move from Harare and go and live in Victoria Falls. At the moment, you can't do that because the accommodation there is just not okay. And this is the best. It's like having Cape Town with no houses in it. That is what Victoria Falls is like. It's got no houses in it. You saw what Councillor Mpume showed us when we were driving. When we was driving around there, showing Victoria Falls. You've got sewage on the road. You've got nothing on the left. You've got nothing on the right. Those are the things that we need to address with Victoria Falls, so that when you drive into Victoria Falls, you see a world-class city. Someone can say, I'm moving from the United Kingdom, I'm going to live at Victoria Falls. And you jump in a plane and you go to Johannesburg for 1 hour because the flight to Victoria Falls is only 3,000 rands. So it will be easy for you to drive. So I'm going, Peter, I won't be going into the details right now. And as I said, I'm not selling this idea because I'm not making money from it. But a guy like me will always make money. You know why you make money? You make money if you solve a problem for some other people. If I give 1 million people houses, there's no way I'm not going to make money. Yeah. 1 million actually. Blawa is the only city of the village. What split? Look at funny stories. They are showing up people. Mama knows. That is the case of Dara. Shona and the village, this is Dara. Shona is in the village, they're basically the same. Now, like, no one cares about that stuff anymore, except someone, a South Ziza. They are no care about such things because he thinks it's a job, it's an achievement to be one of the tribes. Right, guys, I think I've talked for what, 43 minutes? And today, someone is coming to fix my office. You can see with the a light, and we want to solve this light issue, we want to solve the echo issue. I've got a very exciting guy coming here to sort out these issues today. And I hope that everything that we plan to do will happen, and all you guys will achieve everything that you want to achieve. And your 1 liter engine turns into a 3 liter engine, and you don't need to crank it. So UK guys, you still have the 200 grams Black Friday special until the 15th of December. I'm starting to think I must stop the buffet because I get so many calls during the day, and it's quite disruptive to me. But unfortunately, if I don't do it, who are you going to buy from? Who you trust they will deliver? So that's why I do it. I just do it for the guys in the UK. So up to the 15th of December, we got the Black Friday special. You know what's up there to get it from our sponsors. We've got 2 suppliers, but you use that thing for 30 days. If you skip, your own problem. If you don't work out, guys, if you don't work out and you're not healthy and you're breathless, and your hand, if you don't have muscle on your hands, you have to solve that issue. Do something. Downstairs in my house, I've got a gym. I'll tell you through my gym where I work out every night before I sleep. I do at least 30 minutes to 1 hour, just light workout. Even if you don't have a treadmill, must do that on a daily basis. But your hand workout is essential. Your hand and leg workout essential. So that you don't just become a 3-liter engine. What is that mpangwa? That thing that is strong at the top but weak at the bottom. You need to work out well. Guys, I think I've done enough talking and joking. So I'll see you in the evening. We'll take you through the building technologies. And in it, I don't get tired. We're going to go through this. We're going to do well. And we're going to have houses for you guys. I know it's going to be difficult. It won't be easy, but it's going to be done because I'm on it. And I'm on it on a daily basis. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And a good day to you.